small game hunting in a new area. Small game hunting's kind of fun to do because you get to go check out a new area and adventure outside your normal core area of what you hunt. Kind of interesting today. We're about 1.5 miles, 1.75 miles in this new section of woods. I mean, I've been here before, but it's not something I hunt all the time. And things do change. A lot of activity. You got to be, you got to always be testing yourself. And it just was kind of interesting. I'll show you this setup and I'll show you guys what we saw this morning here. And buck are definitely animals that like routine. And liking routine, it makes them comfortable. And I'll show you something here. Here's a buck rub that this old buck been rubbing on. But if you take a look at this, he's been rubbing that since last year. And you can see how it's bedded in there. He's been rubbing on that pretty good. And then we'll go down over the edge here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's like this open field. Maybe a food plot that the Game Commission put in. And I come up through here and I walked around the edge of this. Now this isn't somewhere that deer are hanging out. It's hard to say when they're going to be here, but this is definitely somewhere off of this. I would go in the woods. I don't have a lot of time today. I've been out here about an hour trying to do some squirrel hunting with the boy, but it's so thick in here that these deer can just sneak right through here. But one thing I would do as I walk over here, you got to test yourself constantly to make sure you're staying on top of your game. You're in the best hunting areas, because there's a lot of people that hunt the woods other than us. And as you can see, I mean, look how thick this is. I mean, it's just super thick in here. And deer could sneak in anywhere from any direction. But what caught my eye this morning was this. I got myself a community scrape area. I don't know if you guys can see that. Got one here. Got a big one over here. Got a big old scrape area right here. And there. And it's definitely, there's one there. And buck are not the only ones doing this. This is buck and doe in here. And if I was hunting this, I'd have myself somewhere down in here or up and across. And I guarantee you, at some point, if you hunt it enough, them deer are going to be coming in here and you're going to score. So as hunters, we got to challenge ourselves all the time. Keep our skills sharp. Make sure we're scouting good. And always keeping our eyes peeled. Now, it's been pretty quiet this morning. We haven't seen any deer. Of course, we haven't been out too long either, and we're not really hunting deer. We're out here small game hunting. And this is always test yourself, keep your skills sharp, because that buck that you're hunting might not be in your core area and you might have to move. more footage of a scrape here of these bucks that are in here. This is a community post. You can see the scrape underneath. So this is a pretty populated area where the deer are definitely moving through. This is definitely a hit or miss area for sure. I wouldn't say deer are in here all the time, but if you had the perfect setup and the perfect weather, sat here long enough in this vicinity somewhere as these deer are crossing through here, you could definitely get yourself a deer. Now I just walked about, I don't know, maybe 30 yards, 40 yards from the top of where I just was. It was filming to you guys, and that's up there at the top of the hill there. But this whole area is saturated with deer that are running through here. And you could sit, as I'm looking at this scenery, there's just all kinds of places you could sit in here. I mean, these are cross paths that deer go through. A lot of guys like to hunt these heavy scrape areas, and they like to hunt the heavy rub lines. See, I have found over my years of experience that hunting over this is only beneficial in the beginning. As time goes on, these deer only come through here and freshen these up once in a while, and as you can see, they are freshening this up because there's no leaves in the scrape, and there was no leaves in the scrape up at the top. But just in my experience, I would want a pass-through area, and that's where I would set myself up, maybe within 100 yards of this area here that's got clear shooting lanes, and I can see what's going on. And as always, you got to keep those eyes peeled or you're never going to see anything.